Hey guys, what's up? Happy Friday. Welcome to another Moses lesson. The Moses saga continues, right? I know when we first started talking about Moses, I mentioned that this guy's life is full of action, and it has been, hasn't it? I mean, look what all we've talked about in the past couple weeks. There were all those plagues, the gnats and the frogs and the river turning to blood, and then last week was the final plague where the angel of death went through the entire land of Egypt, killing the firstborn son from every family who didn't have the lamb's blood over the doorpost like all of the Hebrews did. Do you guys remember that? And finally, that was the last straw for Pharaoh, and he finally let the Hebrews go. And now they're still out in the desert, and God is actually leading them where they need to go. During the day, the Bible says there was a cloud that showed them the way to go, just a big cloud in the sky, and then at night, there was like a huge pillar of fire in the sky that showed the Hebrews the correct way to go, which that's crazy right there, just to have a huge big ball of fire in the sky or a huge cloud that shows you where to go. But God led the Hebrews through the desert for several days using the cloud or the pillar of fire until one day they kind of came to a dead end. They came to a place in the desert where there was a huge body of water in front of them called the Red Sea, and there were also mountains all around. So it looked like they were trapped, like they had nowhere to go except to turn around and go back the way they came. And of course, some of the Hebrews, some of the Israelites start getting mad at Moses. They stop trusting God. They are wondering why they're here and where they're going to go now. They think that maybe Moses has made a mistake. And I was wondering now if at this time you guys thought that Pharaoh and the Egyptians were actually done with the Hebrews. It seems like it, right? They finally let them go. But once again, what happens? Pharaoh changes his mind. Pharaoh thinks he's made a huge mistake by letting the Hebrews go. The Egyptians don't know who's going to do their work for them. But then they find out the Hebrews' location, that they're kind of stuck at the Red Sea surrounded by the mountains. And Pharaoh decides to gather his army together to go capture them once again and bring them back to Egypt. So he does. He rounds up his soldiers and they get in their chariots and on their horses and they go to where the Hebrews are, and they see them camped out right in front of the Red Sea with the mountains all around them and nowhere to escape. And then of course the Hebrews also see the huge Egyptian army coming right for them, and they're stuck. They have nowhere to go and they don't think they can escape. And then the Israelites, the Hebrews, really start yelling at Moses and complaining to Moses that it's his fault and that he's brought them to the desert to die. And they don't know why he's done this. And then when Pharaoh's army gets to the Hebrew camp and sees them trapped up against the Red Sea, they think it's going to be easy to overtake them. And so we got Pharaoh and his army thinking that they're going to take the Hebrews back to be their slaves in Egypt. And we've got the Hebrews yelling at Moses, saying they would have rather died in Egypt, or they would have rather stayed slaves than die this way out in the desert. And Moses finally tells them to not be afraid. He says, you're never going to see these Egyptians again. You need to just be still, be calm, and see what God is going to do for you. God is going to fight on our behalf. And as he's saying this, the cloud that's actually been leading them through the desert during the day, it appears and it hides them from Pharaoh's army. So now the cloud that has been guiding their way through the desert, it's huge, and Pharaoh's army can no longer see where they are. And while the cloud is protecting them, Moses takes his staff and goes and stands up by the edge of the Red Sea. And Moses holds his staff up in the air, and a big wind starts blowing, starts making waves, starts making the water move, and eventually the wind is so strong that it parts the water. It makes almost like a sandy road right in the middle of the sea, walls of water on the sides. And this wind that God has sent is making a perfect path. They run through the path that's been made through the sea. And so of course, when Pharaoh sees that the Hebrews are safe on the other side, that they've ran through that path through the water, he sends his army in too, sends them to chase after them. And you guys know what happens. Moses lifts his staff again, and all the water crashes on top of the Egyptian army, swallowing them up, taking down all the men and their horses and the chariots, taking everything under into the water with them. And now the Hebrews are safe on the other side, and they can't believe what they've seen. And a lot of them say that they're never going to doubt that God has sent Moses to free them from the Egyptians. And they're so happy that God has saved them. And now they're free to start their new life, free to form a new nation under their leader, Moses. And the next time we talk, we'll pick up from there when the Hebrews start on their journey through the desert together. And these stories stories have been crazy, right, guys? I told you guys Moses' life is full of action. And even when it seems like things aren't working out, Moses always trusts God, and it does work out. Now the Hebrews are free, and it is because Moses has trusted God, and he's been a leader for these people. But that's where we're going to end for today. And now I want to go teach you guys how to make a couple of fun things that go along with our story today. So let's go do that now. All right, guys, so we just heard the story about how Moses led the Hebrews out into the desert, and they escaped the Egyptians, they escaped slavery, and during the day, God guided them through the desert in the shape of a cloud. Do you remember that? So Raylan is gonna be making something that's called cloud dough. We've never made it before. It's supposed to be like a really soft, silky dough, and what we got here is, you wanna tell everybody what that is? Half a cup of hair conditioner. Go ahead and put that in the bowl. Empty that completely into your bowl. And once all the conditioner's in the bowl, Raylan, tell them what this is. This is an entire cup of cornstarch. So if you do half a cup of conditioner, you get a whole cup of cornstarch. Put that in there and mix them together. So mix it with a spoon first. You'll eventually be kneading it with your hands. Yeah, be careful. Kind of made like a cloud right in your face. Wow. It is called cloud dough. So start mixing that together, and I'll get you guys started. She's making a cloud dough because God guided them using a cloud, and I'm gonna be making some Red Sea slime. Just made that name up recently. Do you guys remember when we all made slime together a couple months ago? That was so fun. If you have glue and slime activator, that is all you need. But if you don't have slime activator, you can use other ingredients. All right, guys, so I'm gonna be making my slime using some glue, a little bit of water, a little bit of baking soda, and some contact solution. That is how you make homemade slime. I don't really know the exact measurements. I just start out by pouring like a cup of glue. And you need to make sure you do it in this order. The glue goes first, then sprinkle in your baking soda. No idea how much it's supposed to be. Maybe a tablespoon? We'll go ahead and say that. I had a little drink of water right here. If we need to say measuring things, I'll say a tablespoon. You keep stirring that. That's good.
This is really good.
So before you put in the contact solution, you mix that together. You want to get these 3 ingredients mixed well before putting in the contact solution. Raylan is stirring up her cloud dough. Oh, it looks so soft and it smells really good. And then Raylan, when that starts getting incorporated really good, then you can start mixing it with your hands. And I've got food coloring here to dye everything. All right, guys, I feel like that's mixed up pretty good. Now, here's the ingredient that activates the slime. No idea how much to pour in. I just start with a lot. I just squirt a whole bunch in. And because I want my slime to look like water, because remember, Moses parted the water so that the Hebrews could walk through it, and then the water crashed in on top of the Egyptians. I'm gonna make mine look like water, so I'm gonna do blue food coloring and a little bit of green food coloring. If you use food coloring, it stains really bad. Like I always tell you guys, don't get me in trouble. Always ask permission from your parents. I'm sure that the moms and dads are so excited I'm teaching your kids how to make slime. You're welcome. I just put a little bit of blue and green. I'm gonna see what happens with that. And now my activator's in there and I can already feel it. I can already feel it like thickening up. It looks like Raylan is ready to start kneading hers with her hands. So if you wanna get that out, it looks like icing.
Yes.
That's how you know. That's how you know you're getting it good. It starts to come off the bowl like that. So now it's about time to use our hands. So I don't want it to stick to my hands, so what I'm gonna do is just put a little bit more contact solution on there and then press it with my hands. That's what makes it not stick to you. And I'm gonna get it out. Here's the fun part, mixing it with your hands. It says, don't all the adults love it when their kids make slime? And if you don't have the color, oh, it's perfect. If you don't have the color that you want, like I want this to be more blue. This is a way that I found that you can do this without getting it everywhere. I just put it on the inside and I start folding it. Fold it up. Don't show that to Terrell. I got some on the table. Okay, cut it off. All right, I'm mixing the food coloring in. Look at my blue slime. All right, I put more blue food coloring in. Can you guys see that color? Isn't it cool? Let's go back to Raylan. We added a little bit more cornstarch because it was too gooey. It's so soft. You can get the whole thing out, get the big ball out so we can show them. So it's obviously gonna be white because it's made out of cornstarch and hair conditioner. So really knead it with your hands. It's perfect. That's why it's called cloud dough, because it's so soft. All right, Raylan, why don't you show them how you color that?
We always flatten it.
Give it the smush. They look alike, but they don't feel alike. Mine's sticky, and hers is seriously the softest thing ever. It's so soft. All right, what color is this cloud gonna be?
I'm gonna do like a tiny bit of blue.
Okay.
And maybe a tiny bit of green. I don't want too much blue because I want it to be like a light-ish.
After you put your food coloring in, just knead it. Colors will come through. Oh yeah, I'm starting to see some blue. Yep, there comes some swirls. That's really pretty.
If you
Kind of like it with the swirls. All right, guys, so I hope you had fun making your slime or your cloud dough, or maybe both. It didn't take very long at all. And I hope you're enjoying the Moses lessons, and I will see you guys again on Sunday morning for our next lesson on diving in and exploring the Bible. And I miss all of you guys, and I can't wait to see you again, but I'll see you all later.